So, Shawnee, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the project Drum for Goodness Sake?
Well, Drum for Goodness Sake sort of came about as, in addition to being an artist and musician in the entertainment industry, I just felt like I needed to do something where I would be giving. I feel like when you're an artist or a musician and you do shows, although it's rewarding in many ways, there are many benefits that come along with it as you start to gain and acquire success. And as a philanthropic person, I felt like I wanted to do something incorporating drumming in music in terms of giving back to people, whether it's seniors with dementia or just a group of people who want to get some physical activity in a fun way that's different than the normal working out in the gym. So I started looking at how music contributes to obviously babies in their development cognitive stages. So I started doing mommy and me groups in that way. And then I looked at what's happening with autism in kids and trying to gain their focus, or kids with ADD, how to bring a group of kids together where they can have fun with an activity that didn't feel like pressure through music and rhythms that would help, them to develop skills through drumming and rhythms. And so basically that's how Drum for Goodness Sake came about. Now the name, I mean, it was such a process trying to figure out what to call it, because of course the concept and idea was there long before the name existed. And then when the name finally came to life, I thought that's a great name, Drum for Goodness Sake, because the whole purpose of what I'm doing in that is to just create basically for better health, and to have fun. It's not about pressure, just like Hit Like a Girl. It's all about, express yourself as best you can in this competition. And although the word competition is used, it's really not about it being competitive. It's just about a fun contest where girls and women from all over the world, all walks of life, can exploit themselves in that way and express themselves as best they can.
Right,
So,
that's awesome. So, who
yeah.
did you hook up with to make Drum for Goodness Sake like an actual program?
Well, I actually hooked up with a dear friend of mine who is a senior and has Parkinson's, and is also involved with on the board of USC for the School of Social Work. So, of course, in dealing with her and other people at USC, they have a program called Wounded Warrior Program for the vets. So in developing this program alongside with her, we talked about how Drum for Goodness Sake could be a benefit to that program that USC is doing for the vets, their family, and their children. So that is still in development, and maybe at some point in that process, USC will probably maybe take on Drum for Goodness Sake. I don't know how it's going to happen, but we've been just talking about a lot of ideas of how Drum for Goodness Sake can benefit their program, what they're doing for the vets, and I totally support that effort.
So, can you tell us about any other projects you're working on right now? Are you just kind of focusing on drum related stuff or anything in production?
Oh, wow. Well, definitely in production. I just signed to a company for writing. So basically, this company will take songs that I write or collaborate on with other writers all over the world, and the music will be licensed for television, film, etc. However, wherever it's fit or due. And then, of course, still drumming. And specifically, in addition to working with specific artists and some other projects that are coming that I can't really mention at the moment, I have a project. It's my solo project, basically, and it's called Drum for Goodness Sake. So just getting ready for that, to do some more shows, not just in Los Angeles, but Vegas, wherever, all over Southern California. And just, having fun, doing it and just being open to other possibilities, whether it's in film, and most importantly, in all of the aspects that I am involved in, it's all about putting out good messages and supporting, the efforts of people that may not be on the level of a working musician or artist, but just letting people know that you can still be an artist and a creative person and not have to do this as a living. It's about having a balanced life, and just putting good out into the world. And, that's why I've just been so busy this year. And not being a judge for Hit Like a Girl, it's kind of disappointing because I feel like I want to be a judge every year,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's just not possible when you're so busy. But however, it's so important to me to always participate with that competition. And that's why I choose, even if I'm not actively a judge, I definitely, and even as a judge, I want Drum for Goodness Sake to sponsor Hit Like a Girl and contribute through that in so many facets, because just to support this whole movement of empowering girls and women to do whatever they want to do. It's not, to me, this message is, it starts with where we are, which are being female musicians, but it's really important to have this movement of encouraging, inspiring, motivating, and propelling girls and women to follow their hearts, to fulfill their dreams, and not to be afraid, because we live in a world sometimes where, society, I'm not going to say men specifically, but society put roles on girls and females. And I think through programs like this, it just helps to encourage and provoke girls and women to follow their heart or their passions,
Definitely. And on that note, like, I know we've talked to you a little bit about, being in kind of a male-dominated industry, and obviously you've totally been able to just jump right in there and not really have much of a problem, but I'm sure there has been a moment where you felt like there was. Is there any time you can explain where you felt like you kind of broke through something and kind of made it to that point where you wanted to be in the industry?
Well, I think that, of course, when you're working, you never complain about, or at least publicly complain about your obstacles. And believe me, there have been obstacles, and I'm sure there are many more to face. But I think tenacity, having the will to just be a driving force no matter how difficult. And again, it's not always easy. And of course, easier said than done, but you have to find ways to survive in a world that's ever changing. And even if the odds appear to be against you, you just have to be resilient and move forward. But I will say that, I work a lot, and I have worked a lot for Interscope artists, and I am grateful for that. But I remember at some point, I guess it was about 3 years ago or something, when I felt like, and I felt like this a number of times, but I felt like I've played with so many great people, and I don't take it for granted. But still, what happens yesterday is yesterday, and from each day on, it's just a different process, a different journey. And so I remember feeling like I'm just, although I'm working with all these incredible people, I just don't feel fulfilled, or sometimes it's just not enough, or it's just really hard. So I remember thinking, when you're a kid and you play music or you do theater, how exciting it is, because you're not thinking, I'm going to do this for a living. As a child, you're just so innocent and you're enjoying the moment and you're not afraid, you're fearless, And so I remember thinking, is this something that I really want to continue doing? Drumming. And it was about just the environment that I was around, not necessarily drumming or music itself. And then I get this call from an executive at Interscope, telling me that Sting's manager, Sting is interested in meeting with me and having me play some particular shows with him. So I go, and I had that experience. And then I realized, wow, like I don't want to walk away from this business. And what I just experienced is what I've lived for, what I wanted to experience from from the get go. However, it doesn't always happen. But so after working with him, I realized, to work with people that such as that have had many years of success, has put out incredible music, people that can be so humble and just be so kind at the same time. It made me realize, wow, I want to work with him for the rest of for as long as I can, or it was just such a great experience and it was so inspiring. And I mean, it definitely changed, my little moment of feeling like, oh, it's so hard, this business,
Totally. So, do you have any words of encouragement for the contestants this year?
Well, I would say to the contestants, even in your fear, because it's always a sense of fear when you're entering a competition, and when you hear the word competition, it's sort of like the word test. You're taking a test or SAT. But I would say, even in your fear, just if you could find a moment where you can just sit and relax your mind. And then as you begin to record your video, um, just play from your heart and be excited and know that what you're contributing contributes to the rainbow of colors, and it's going to be amazing. And it's not about winning the competition, it's about contributing to the color or the movement of girls worldwide doing great things. So
Girl power.
yes.
Well,
Girl power.
we are so excited that you are a sponsor this year. Like, I know you couldn't be a judge this time around, but still, just being involved, we're so happy that you are here.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor and a pleasure. I love all of the people that are involved with Hit Like a Girl, and it's just such a great thing to be a part of. I'm excited.